to me. Descarado won the Caulfield Cup again. American Trevian.
Hello and welcome to your Daily Bite from the 50 days of the Victorian Spring Racing Carnival. And in the aftermath of a magnificent Tatts Cox Plate Day at Moonee Valley, there are two questions to be answered. Did we see perhaps the greatest ride in the history of the plate?
Pinker getting into the clear.
And have the French got the Emirates Melbourne Cup all parcelled up? But before we answer those, we're catching up with Cox Plate winning trainer Greg Eurell the morning after the race before. And the question for him was, how was Pinker?
Pulled up very well, probably a little better than I did.
Pinker was a $26 upset winner of the plate, and in the immediate moments after the race, Eurell's emotions were on clear display.
It's hard to absorb at the moment. It's really got to me. It's a great experience.
Sunday morning saw the composure that has marked his outstanding career as a horseman, representing Australia at an Olympic Games and training one of the most popular horses of the last decade, the baldy-faced sprinter Apache Cat.
You know, I mean, horse has been absolutely fantastic to me. You know, fortunately, you know, I rode early days and had some nice horses then that helped me to go to the Olympic Games and ride there and to reflect on another equestrian sport and have two horses like Apache and Pinker. Well, yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
While Pinker was only the 7th mare or filly to have won, in 80 years of Cox Plates, she continued the domination of females in feature races around the world in recent years. And her purchase price of $120,000 is looking mighty cheap.
She was purchased from the English sales here in Melbourne. David and Carol, who of course own her, were at the sales and having a look around at the yearlings, and David only informed me last night that he really didn't have any intentions in buying anything at the sales that year, and he'd run into a couple of breeders and they said they'd had a few yearlings there that they'd like him to have a look at, and David had a look, and then I was wandering around and run into David, and he said, oh look, you can go and have a look at these horses for me, and we did, and come back, and I said, well, I really like the filly, the reset filly, and so he said, oh good, he said, I'll try and buy her, so yeah, it went on from there.
Eurell was still shaking his head at the mastery of Craig Williams, who delivered one of the greatest Group 1 rides of the television era.
Well, it was absolutely brilliant. Faultless, you know, and I suppose I was starting to get a little bit worried. I think, you know, approaching the half mile, you know, we were not drifting back, but the field was starting to move forward, and we were probably about 4th last at that stage.
Every major race winner needs luck, and Williams certainly had it, with Luke Nolan on King's Rose and Dwayne Dunn on Rekindled Interest, both trying to get away from the rails as Williams took the runs that would have been theirs.
And they're followed by Pinker getting up on the fence, and then Playing God. Around the turn, Lion Tamer gone. Jimmy Shoes raced up to Helmet. Pinker getting into the clear. It's Jimmy Shoe tackled by Pinker. Pinker's taken the lead. Pinker in front, and she won it. Pinker won the Cox Plate.
Pinker will now be spelled for the autumn as attention turns to the Emirates Melbourne Cup. And the French pair Americain and Narrated have cleared out at the top of the market, which has a distinctly international look. After the French pair come two locally trained German gallopers in Lucas Cranach and Illo, and then the UK runners Jukebox Jury and Bauer. Americain's win over New Zealand-bred Tullamore and Illo in the Drake International Moonee Valley Cup pressed home the fact that none of the top dozen horses in Melbourne Cup betting began their racing careers in Australia. And for our last word on the Valley meeting, naturally, we return to the 15 out of 15 champion sprinter, Black Caviar. While she beat a Group 2 field down on number and quality, it's worth remembering that a fortnight earlier, she did this to Karuta Queen.
Black Caviar won it by 4.5. Second, Karuta Queen.
And on Saturday, Karuta Queen came out and did this to her opposition.
Karuta Queen runs the 1200 right out. Won it by 3, going away brilliantly.
That's as good a measure of Black Caviar's dominance as anything she did herself. Roll on, Royal Ascot. And that's all for now, but we'll be back again tomorrow with another bite out of the Victorian Spring Racing Carnival.
Descarado won the Caulfield Cup again.